for those of you who are wondering, if you weren't there when it happened, we got to the point where in the meeting had not really begun with any substance other than I had introduced myself and was having the commissioners introduce themselves, and I had read how the meeting was going to be run, which is going to be run with the commissioners and the petitioners talking to one another, and then we will open it up to the public for questions. And if you're on the cell phone, you would dial #9. That covers sort of procedurally. But all of a sudden, we got cut out by the powers that be and spent 10 minutes or whatever in limbo land, and we're now back. And I hope we can pick it up from whence we left off. And as there were no agenda items have been covered whatsoever. I think we should do the roll call of the commissioners again, just so we finish, because I think we actually fell on that halfway through. I'm Greg Higgins. Ed, go ahead.
Ed Nardi.
Lynn.
Lynn Huggins.
Nick. Nick, you're muted. Unmute yourself. You're still muted. Have you muted him?
He's all set.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. All right. So we're going to carry on with the meeting. And the first agenda item is the minutes from February 19th. What say ye all?
You look good to me.
Yep, no comment.
No comment, fine.
I submitted one very minor edit to Karen.
Okay. All right. As we have in the past, we will do a roll call. I need a motion.
I would move that we accept the minutes of February 19th, 2020 as amended.
Second.
All those in favor are going to have to do it by roll call. Nick?
Aye.
Lynn? Lynn?
Frozen.
No. Lynn?
Aye.
Ed, can? Aye, okay.
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
And I'm the chair, Greg Higgins, aye as well. Now we move along to March 4th minutes. Anybody have any thoughts, issues with those?
Again, there was one minor edit.
Look good to me.
No comment.
Looking for a motion.
I move that we accept the March 4th, 2020 minutes as amended.
Second.
All those in favor, Nick?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
I am aye as well. So that takes care of the minutes. I just wanted to briefly bring up an item, the wildlife hunting proposal. The select board intends, I believe, on talking about it tomorrow evening, and I think they're going to ask that they say that they oppose it. We have discussed it. I had thought of asking for a vote, but I don't think I probably should, Delia, at this point, given the fact it's not a hard agenda item. But I want you to know, next meeting, we're going to look for support, hopefully, from all of us for that letter. All right. I just wanted to bring that up. All right. We have a continuance. Would somebody make a motion, please?
I move that we open and continue to May 20. Notice of intent application DEP file number 1371518. I also, let's pause there.
Wait a minute. You're fine.
So then I also move that we continue to May 20th. Notice of intent application DEP file number 1371504.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Nick seconds. All those in favor, Nick?
Aye.
Lynn?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
And I'm aye as well. And that brings us up to our first discussion of the evening, which is DEP file number 1371517. And I might, and who is here? Who is here as a representing the, I see Greg and Dan. Okay.
Dave
So,
Crossman from
Dave.
BNC.
Greg, excuse me.
Yeah. Lynn, you want to
Yeah.
recuse yourself?
Yeah, please, before we start in, I had recused myself at the prior meeting. And I will recuse myself tonight from the 2 country club agenda items. And if everyone's comfortable, I will just sit as a member of the public and listen. If you'd prefer, I will mute myself and leave my computer.
No, I'm sorry. If you mute and stay out of it, it's fine with me as the chair. Does anybody else have an issue with that?
No.
Okay. Dave, okay. What I would like, because we have a lot of new people on here and stuff, Dave, it would be wonderful if you would start from the beginning. How do we get where we are and what do you want to do? And we'll move forward to your plan of this is for a violation that you folks are going to make whole. And let's start with that.
Okay, I'm Dave Crossman with BNC Associates representing the Country Club. We have, the Country Club is proposing to put in a irrigation pond, and in the process of doing some earthwork for that, they cut into the riverfront area along Dugan Brook. And as a result, that created a violation. We excavated about 80 some odd square feet of earth and cut down another 400 plus feet of vegetation. So the filing is to restore those 2 areas back to a natural state. And we have proposed, we've provided a planting plan along that edge. And in the meantime, there have been several significant changes to the plans from the initial filing. So I believe all the actual proposed work is now shown on that plan, along with the restoration of the area that was altered. So we're asking the commission to, most of the work, about 95% of it is, or more, is outside the riverfront area. So we're asking the commission to review what we're proposing for restoration and perhaps approve that or make recommendations for changes, or however you would like to proceed.
Mm-hmm. And you've got to be you're going in front of the Board of Appeals as a result of earth removal issues, et cetera?
Yes.
And has that happened, or where are you in that?
I believe there was a meeting last month, and there's another meeting coming up. I'm not sure of the dates. Maybe Peter could talk about that.
Believe it's May 14th,
Okay.
the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yeah. And this is restoration of all the affected area that was in the river front, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Does there any other commissioners have any thoughts or questions on this?
Here's Nick Pappas.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how does an error like this, an omission like this take place, just for the record?
The contractor pulled a tape from the edge of the wetlands and staked an area that they thought was 200 feet from the edge of the brook. And they didn't take into account the change in topography or perhaps going around a tree or something like that. So we had the area surveyed by registered land surveyor Stansky McNary, and we ended up being a little more, or the contractor ended up being into the outer edge of the riverfront area where they had thought they were outside.
So the short answer is that they proceeded with work without a survey being done.
Yes.
Okay.
But the motivation for the survey was as a result of a notification from the NRC, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I was just wondering about how the how the country club could make an error like that. So now I know. Thank you.
You've submitted a plan showing the existing trees and the restoration of the 540 feet. It's not
Yes.
considering the amount of work you've done there, it is a very modest, it seems in my eyes, although a clear violation, and I'm extremely surprised that the country club got themselves into that. The issue of, we may speak later about the issue of the actual work in terms of the pond, but are there any further questions from the commission in regards to the reparations being done on the 540 feet that's been affected? If
No.
not, I'd like to open it up for public comment. If you could do that, Delia, that would be appreciated.
I just got a message from Jeremy
Yeah,
that the meetings are still, if we hold our meeting, the finance committee is unable to hold their meeting.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
I would suggest that we that the commission adjourn this meeting.
yeah. I think especially given what, I think so, and I'm requesting a motion from a commissioner, please. Sorry, guys, this is what's happening. Your efforts are respected. Greg, I'm sorry, but this is what we have to do. Can I get a motion, Ed?
Yeah,
adjourn?
I move that we adjourn the meeting due to the conflict with the FinCom meeting and schedule it for the next meeting, these items.
Could you just rephrase that a tad bit for me? Well, let's see if I get a second, and then I'll ask you to rephrase it. Nick?
Second,
Would you call it, I would call it technical difficulties, not a
Sure.
conflict with
Yep.
with FinCom. I don't want history to think that we had a feud with FinCom. So if you
I
wouldn't mind amending it that way, I'd appreciate it.
Yep. I move we adjourn tonight's NRC meeting due to technical difficulties.
So just for the record, I just would like to clarify, since our meetings are always held when our meetings are held, is this a glitch because of the rescheduling of the town meeting date? And this is a FinCom hearing on town meeting warrant articles? I'm just interested in us reflecting what made this happen.
I don't know the answer to that, Lynn, but what I do know is when we went offline, I went to FinCom on the town website to get their sign-in link, signed in to what, and of course, they had everyone muted except, and they were reviewing some finances at that time with Dave Wood from the Light Plan, just to let you know.
Right, so it was a schedule, the FinCom scheduled their meeting for tonight, a week ago, something like that, to review town meeting article.
I think we have
articles.
to, I think we have to get a, I think we have to get a understanding going forward as to why two different links would negate one another, and we only can have one jockey in the race.
Right.
That doesn't
So-
make a lot of sense to me.
I think this is a, technical glitch for this meeting. I think that I've got some ideas for solutions to keep this from happening in the future. So
Yeah, I hope so.
I think the question that I would ask the commission now is whether or not you want to reschedule this meeting to another date, as in, a week from tonight or something like that, or if you want to kick this out to the May 20th meeting, which already has a number of items that are on that agenda.
My preference, given that that people all were here, prepared, ready to go, is not to wait for the full period of time. This was I know it's a circumstance not of our doing, not of their doing. If there's a way to accommodate, and of course that would depend on whether applicants who are here tonight are available.
I think that's what would need to be done. What we could, by the way, we have a motion on the table, which I don't want voted on because it'll adjourn the meeting, but don't let me forget that. But it seems we ought to ask the applicants and let it be known and make sure. I guess we've sent notice, they've sent notice to neighbors, so it's just as if it got continued, but continuing it to an off date without verifying that people can get there, it could be very confusing, I think. Am I wrong?
No, that's a good point. Although, not that this gets us anywhere, but I just, again, for the record, this is really the FinCom that messed this up. Just saying.
Just saying. All right, you've made that point. We can say it a couple more times if we want, but it won't help us.
But that's a very good point, Lynn, that the hearings need to be continued to a date certain.
Right.
So I'm going to just,
I'm reluctant to go to, I'd gladly do next Wednesday, but I'm thinking of people that would not understand that we went to a mid and not even look and figure, well, they're going to go 2 weeks. That's what they do. It'll be the be the third Wednesday. And all of a sudden they appear and a week earlier, I'm looking to avert somebody in effect getting improper notice. That's what I'm concerned about.
To play devil's advocate, I'm looking to avert applicants who were prepared to move forward tonight.
I fully understand, but boy, are they going to be disappointed applicants if somebody appeals because they didn't know the meeting was.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
I think that you are able to continue to a date certain at tonight's meeting and be within the parameters of the open meeting law.
but we also then are up against the same issue we have at this moment in time, whether we're conflicting with something else and we're going to repeat what just happened now.
Right.
We're going to do it in a different, that's not going to happen again because we're going to do it under a different license.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. In that regard, I mean, I'm not going to push my point. Well, we've got Dave, we've got Greg here. Would next Wednesday work for you?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
Yes.
Who else? Peter, could you unmute Peter, please? Peter,
Yep,
again?
I'm unmuted. Thank
yeah,
you.
Greg. I'm
Peter,
on-
you heard that we could bring you up next week. Can you make next week?
yeah,
Next Wednesday, yes.
Next
all
Wednesday,
for the
okay?
supervisor, yes.
Who else? I can't see everybody that's on.
Greg Sincata is there as well, general manager.
I saw him, but he shook his head that it was okay.
Yep, we're good. Yeah, I'm good with that date.
Is there anyone in the public? Can we unmute the public and let them raise their hand if they need to speak? I just don't want any.
Greg, I'm here too.
Hi, Dan. Is next Wednesday fine with you?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Dan. All right, then, modify your motion, please, Ed, to,
Sorry, Greg, 1 second. You have 2 members of the public that you might, and maybe 3 that you might want to just confirm that with as well.
I don't see anyone asking anything.
Okay.
Rebecca, Michelle? Do you have any thought? Is there any problem? I just don't want people to say, wow, I flew in from Denmark for this and I can't.
Well,
stay from
it's, I mean, obviously everyone's dealing with some difficulties with COVID. I mean, we realize that this is not an ideal environment anyway.
Yeah.
I will say, so I think COVID's to blame first and then maybe find FinCom and then however the works technology wise. But I do potentially have a conflict next Wednesday. So I'll try to resolve it the best I can, but certainly I have a lot of thoughts and feedback to share on this. And certainly I also have counsel who is involved. So I do have a bit of a concern. I certainly want to work with moving this along, but I have to resolve it. I just don't know right now how to handle that.
So can I ask if there's a way to accommodate that in our agenda, if your conflict can be resolved by placing you at the end of the meeting or right at the beginning of the meeting?
You know, it's not really a question of, it's a question of the date more than the time.
So
So
can I
I have
suggest
to
that,
take that.
can I suggest that if you have concerns that you provide those to me in written format prior to next Wednesday so that the commission has ample, can review those in the public hearing?
Okay.
That would be great.
That would be very much appreciated.
Okay.
Nick, yes, you were going to say something.
No, I'm fine with
Oh,
Wednesday.
okay. All right. Unless I see something else, which I don't, Ed, would you mind modifying that you want to adjourn and reconvene?
May 13th.
Lynn's got her
at
hand
7?
up.
Sorry. So we did have a matter of business on the mosquito legislation, Delia, and the deadline for that will fall before
That's correct.
we can meet again. And I didn't know if that item, recommending a letter, is something that we can or cannot address now. Did it need a vote?
It does need a vote. I was going to suggest that the commission authorize me to issue a letter of concern as proposed, given its broad nature and lack of oversight, to send that to the legislature.
And lack of a sunset provision.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that they're even doing it this way, Lynn.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something that are we able to move forward on that under these?
I don't know how we can vote
Yeah.
without, I don't think so. I don't see how that works.
I mean, so the FinCom is waiting for this hearing to be adjourned in order for them to take on their matters. So I don't think there's a lot of discussion that we can have on that. If the commission would like to convene a brief meeting to review this next Monday, we can post that and have that conversation.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Without further ado, Ed, please.
Sure. I move that we adjourn the May 6th, 7 p.m. meeting due to technical difficulties and have it rescheduled to May 13th at 7 p.m.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Nick seconds. I'll poll all those in favor. Lynn?
Aye.
Nick?
aye.
Ed?
Aye.
And I am aye as well. It's unanimous. Sorry, everyone. Apologies, but that's life in the
Zoom world.
COVID world. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for showing up, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Appreciate it.
Very good.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.